Well, the Success isn't still going, is she?
Well, I think she's still up for I think some of Collins' boys, I think, have got
Oh,
there.
they've got it?
Chuka there somewhere.
No, they got the Canberra.
Got the Canberra.
Paddleboat Success. Oh, I remember this. And the barge of Eager. Watched workmen begin unloading the 75,000 wool cargo.
Who had it there, not Pollard.
And what he slipped in on, he made use of the flood like it was, and he went up to get a load and tied up round a river, round a tree.
That must have been it into the tree and hung there, and they were able to pick her up and they took her to where'd they take her to? Echuca or something?
Oh, have a look. Each time a rope was made fast, it either snapped or the trees pulled out. Finally, the big logs against two large red gums. God. Snap the tow rope. Gosh, it must be dangerous when those ropes go.
The load of wonder she didn't roll over.
Yeah, it's a big load too. I wonder where it came from.
They're about 3 or 4 high.
Near Goolwa. Yeah.
A good photo of a load of wool. Must be in this one. That is good there.
Where do we? My word, where's that at? Yeah, I remember that. That's right. It must have been one of the last times that, they pulled a load of wool down.
You see, they were all going cross country then.
Yes, that's right.
Get out with their feathers.
In the flood, that's right.
Anything else?
3,000 bales.
There's a nice parcel on there.
Yes. And where was this? Wool barge rubbing at Wentworth. I wonder if that'd be a record load or not. Suppose not. And would they pull 2 or 3? Could they pull, how many barges would a steamer pull? 3 or...
Oh,
they've got 3 there, haven't they?
There's 3, it looks like 3 barges there.
It's hard to manage, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if I'd take, just depends how the river, a lot depends on the river, you see whether it was pretty slack, wasn't any tide much, wouldn't be so bad, but better going up against the tide than coming down with it, that's the trouble they run up on them.
That's right. Look at that, mate. Bottom one, catching a kangaroo.
Oh, no.
Oh, this is Captain E.H. Dodd.
He was on the Renmark one day and she run aground up here. The old chap must have had a heart pig. He went back to get another boat. She was made out of a barge, a Sunbeam, pleated boat, and of course the batteries were a bit flat. He grabbed the handle to start the engine, and that was the final session.
And he
laying on the deck.
And was the boat? What happened to the boat?
Oh, they got her off and done the trip up to Point the Clay.
Oh, how long ago was that?
Ooh. 8 or 9 years ago, I suppose, now.
Captain E.H. And he was still on the river then when he died, was he?
Oh, yeah, it was like old Dave Ritchie and them. You see, they went in with Percy Richards when they got the old Redmark going again.
Oh, I see.
These trips to, because Percy
she's
built
burnt
the
now,
engines. Percy Richards had built the engines.
Oh, I see.
Redmark. He was very proud of them.
Oh, and she was the one that got burnt.
She sunk there.
Yes, I think. Yeah. Captain E.H. Dodd, now that's your Uncle Hayne, told me he was interested to read the thing of the Excelsior, the Netley woolshed on the River Darling, because he was one of the crew of the steamer which arrived there 2 days after she foundered. She sank because she was overloaded. She had only a few inches of freeboard, he says. Several of the old hands said she would never reach Wilcannia. There was a strong current in a big river. Every time the Excelsior rounded a bend, she leaned over and her siphon pipes were submerged, and the water rolled into the ships. When the fireman on watch went down to the furnace, he found the water over the stokehole plate. Called out to the man at the wheel that the steamer was sinking. He ran her ashore. Her bow went up on a...
Could have done.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Keep her out in the middle, would you?
So you run her bows up on the shore, all the water ran to the stern and under she went.
Yes. Her bow went up on a clay shelf, and when the water in her ran aft, her stern went under. Her foredeck was still dry. A lot of her cargo was grog, and shearers on strike at a gay time. Cases and casks of it were found planted among the trees. The Excelsior was never raised because the owners went broke and abandoned her. Many months later, when the Darling was very low, and the Excelsior was left high and dry. Alf and Harry Hart stuck with the steamer Victoria a few miles downstream, went up and inspected the Excelsior and found her in perfect order and bought her for sale. Fancy, you think they'd gone to the trouble of getting her out. They waited till the river rose again. She floated off, and they had one of the longest, most economical and best steamers on the river at that time. Later bearing in Cape Woodard, Blues Corona. She was built in Goolwa, another Goolwa ship. Did they make boats up the river too? Or was Goolwa the main place that made boats? Or did they make
no, he took a lot of major chips.
Were they?
Well, the red gum trees were right there on
That's
the site.
true, yes.
And they just had to put them through the sawmill and make the boats.
None of the Randalls family have stayed around the river, have they?
They all kept together and up
Yeah.
around Manning.
Yeah, but they haven't they don't seem to live around on the river anymore. Because they did very well out of it, didn't they? They were big people. Manham was, practically a Randall town. There's Randall Street and Randall House, and they've got
Yes, everything was Randall then.
Yes. I suppose some of them made a lot of money. There's another bit there, yes. I was interested to read another one of your uncles.
Yeah.
I was interested to read in your column the marks of Mr. Ford and Murray River steamer when the Paringa was burnt. Were there a lot of them burnt, were there?
Yeah, quite see. They had a habit of going up and smoke up there.
I wonder, well, of course they were wood burners,
Yeah,
no wooden
see,
ships,
yes,
that's right. And I
They
suppose,
had the steam on them.
yes, when the Paringa was burnt, it was a very hot night and the fire started in the galley about 11 o'clock with the crew getting ashore in their night attire. I helped,
The cook was full on that
Yeah.
whiskey, I suppose.
yeah, that's right. I helped Dick Sanford to chop a hole in the hull of the sinker and save something from the fire, but when she sank there was not much left of the stores on board. Later I looked at her doing the diving to try and raise her up. Oh, here your uncle, there was a dive too, did they? She was floated some years later. Yes. Tanya was burnt a mile below the present site of Lock 4. After this, the boat was floated and towed to Goolwa to sink there at her moorings. Last year, the Goolwa Progress Committee, how long ago was this? A few years ago, pulled her up on the bank and got hundreds of feet of good timber from the hull. There was great timber in the ships of those days. How long ago would that have
A
been?
lot of it down the mill, my old mill there. I made,
What mill was
there
this?
comes some
Timber
out,
mill?
I made, these tower racks up over the wall and the three bits of pull
Yeah.
out hang the tower up
Yeah.
on. I rubbed it up and, it polished up like mad.
What timber mill you had, did you? Timber
No, it
mill?
used to
Or?
be an old flour mill.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yes, that's right. You told me.
Flour mill then.
Yes. Oh, you've got must have a pretty. You must be the local historian, aren't you, with your book?
All them shopping around here now.
Yes. Yes, must have everything that ever happened.
I reckon that's a good one.
What?
I laugh every time I read that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Well, this is funny, but
Well, though, these are from the town clerk's record. Thomas
Yes.
Good, first postmaster, 1856, £6 per annum. Post office built 1857. First iron whistle built by Abraham Graham at Goolwa in 1864. First man, Mr. Price, first man to import
Hindmarsh
Hereford
Island,
cattle. Hindmarsh Island, I see. Hindmarsh Island was settled quite early, was it?
oh yeah.
How did they get across? By boat?
Well, Rankin's had a private ferry up here opposite. You've heard of Clayton, the outboard camp,
Yeah.
what they call it, outward bound camp. Up
Yeah.
there. Well, Rankin's had a ferry up there in the old days.
Was it big enough to be bothered?
Rankin's owned practically all of Hindmarsh Island, bar several blocks that Price was using.
Oh, I
He got
see.
wind that Rankins were going into Adelaide to fix up to get these blocks. And he hopped off the night before, and I don't know whether he rode or walked. Anyhow, he got to Adelaide and bought the blocks, and that stopped there. If Rankins would have owned all Hindmarsh Island. in
I
those
see. He
days.
just we had sheep on it, did he? Cattle.
He had got
Hereford
the
and Shropshire,
Cattle
yes. Yes, I wouldn't have thought that it'd be enough, like, to keep the ferry going. The ferry goes there pretty busy, doesn't it, across there?
Go there now. You want to see me a long weekend? We park right around the corner.
What, has it got
there.
nice beaches or
Yeah,
something, has it? Or what they go
Yeah,
there
well,
for? Just to look at it?
Well, they've got these weekend places over there. See, it's right opposite the Murray now. And of course, the blue water's in there most of the time. You see the salt water.
Oh, I
they're all
see.
below the barrage. And all the salt water there, and they get the salt water breaming the fish, you see. That's the catch over there.
Yeah, I
They're all
wondered why.
there with their boats there and trailing lines. There's dozens of them around there all the time.
Oh, I wondered why it was so, why it was necessary.
Yeah.
Come on, stop it, you want to read?
Mostly there's a tower on the bell and the spire for the clock and all this.
Who are these? The Lovells or the Higginses? Oh, I see. Mr and Mrs Higgins of Burnt Oak Station, Currants Creek, chartered a train to see their son, Dr Charles Higgins, who died there. I died in Port Elliot, was it? Chartered a train to Melbourne. They came to Adelaide in a horse and buggy. Mr Express, went to Adelaide, went to Melbourne. Golly. They must have been big people, were they?
Oh, they owned,
Yeah.
there's a lot of country out the back here in those
Yeah.
days. Well, the son took ill in Sydney, and they wanted to get to Sydney, so by the time they drove the horse and buggy to Adelaide, they missed the train.
Oh, that's great.
But anyhow, there's a plaque over on the wall over there where the son died in Sydney, so I expect that's the one they
Yeah.
went over to see.
Yeah.